let's talk about the recent problems that this OCG list has kind of left open in the community. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. I know we've had a lot of thoughts on the OCG ban list this week, but I just want to kind of lay out a discussion here talking about, where this list left the community, desiring a lot more. And a lot of it is around Beatrice right now. Obviously, a lot of the Fiendsmith stuff itself hasn't been, the Fiendsmith stuff generating its end board into the Beatrice, and then Beatrice being this universal dump card to have access to literally anything that you need in the deck, to dump a certain essential combo piece, or, to stack up and just have this monster here that can access you any utility option. The OCG wanted this card gone. Now, if you remove this card, the Fiendsmith combo just kind of becomes a little bit of a, engine that seeks to kind of spam monsters on the field for the purpose of, like link climbing or setting up some sort of board. It's not like the craziest thing in the world here, but I can understand the frustrations that your player base is feeling out here by leaving Beatrice as a card. And I do agree with you. I'm not going to sit here and lie and go, hey, Beatrice is okay, but by flashpointing it to one, no other deck played more than one Beatrice. I don't understand let's put it to one. They have to be using some of these changes to warn the community that, hey, these cards are on a watch list out here. We got to do something about this. I get it. I understand your frustrations. Give it one more list. Come, October, you'll see this stuff get cratered off of the side here. Now, with that being all said and done, I also understand that people are still not happy with Rescue Ace sitting around out here as a top competitor. And this and Yubel still sitting out here as the two best decks in the room. There's no really changing the minds of this. Rescue Ace still being able to set 4 cards. By the way, I still cannot believe that I am saying that Rescue Ace Fiendsmith is one of the best decks heading on into this format out here. Especially when we're looking at how things might be looking in a future tier list out here. You get the set 4, you get access to, make Beatrice, you get access to the full Fiendsmith stuff, you can make SP Little Knight, you can have, you're getting all of these, you're getting the best of all of the worlds out here, just by what toolbox stuff that you have available to you. And, even though Emergency is checked off of this list, the fact that people are just upset that, how we're going to have to deal with Rescue Ace, I wonder if the TCG, once we get some sort of list out here, if we'll kind of follow suit with this. Will the TCG actually adapt the idea of messing around with the Rescue Ace stuff and the same concept that the OCG is using this stuff to generate, these bigger boards? I don't know. I'm very curious about that, because the way the TCG's Method of Madness has been, we've been so gung-ho out here with just Snake Eyes pure builds. It's hard to imagine us really trying anything else out here. So that's a big one. Now, the Yubel frustrations. Once again, I think a lot of this is tied into Beatrice. I still don't... Beatrice is a broken card, but when you're getting into the realm of the Yubel toolbox stuff out here, this is just, you're playing the Fiendsmith stuff to help facilitate the combos. You have the Unchained stuff in here to give you the end board with the Soul Lord Yama. So you have the extenders, the extenders. Yubel and extenders are an engine at this point. You've brought all of these fiend concepts together. You turn it around. Pretend you're stepping in the grapes out here. You're smashing this all together. You toss your Unchained in there. You have all of your fiend engines passing around in this pile, and you've created this hodgepodge. Now, I think Phantom of Yubel was the icing on the cake for this deck that has developed this current level of frustration for this, because, oh, it's a replacement effect. You know, you're able to use this, create a card out here to basically replace whatever key effect your opponent's trying to do out here and punish them with it. I get it. I get that it's not a fun experience. I get that it's not what you want to be messing around with out here. That's fine. Alright, the big takeaway from this, though, is, yes, Fiend Toolbox is going to be a deck. It is going to continue to stick around out here. And with the current iteration of the build, the fact that, you know, you're getting all of this stuff poured on into this, every Fiend card that Konami prints now is just kind of support for this deck. So, is Phantom Yubel rolling around here still a major problem? No, I don't think so. I think giving the deck something to kind of protect its M-board frustrations on is a good thing. Now, I want to talk about this whole Magispector Unicorn thing out here. Because I've actually read a few people on the OCG side of things that looked at Magispector Unicorn, and a lot of people actually voiced some frustrations from this. And I find this kind of interesting, because Magispector Unicorn, I think, while it's not going to be a huge issue on the OCG, they still have Electromite. You have to remember that Electromite kind of bridges all of this extra deck stuff together and allows, you know, maybe a Magispector splash package to be a little bit more threatening. I can understand that logic. But we've had Unicorn on the TCG side of the game floating around out here, and honestly, hasn't done anything. I mean, there'll be, you'll watch like maybe a top 32 or a top 16 every once in a while at a regional, you know, like, ooh, Magispectors, they just showed up out here. Like, ooh, you know, we got a little bit of sauce. Yes, that's the kind of stuff that I think is good. But for the most part out here, to be looking at Magispector Unicorn, I can once again understand the frustrations, because Electromite in hand with this is going to cause a lot of problems. Don't think it's not, alright? You can sit here and you can go, hey, we can justify this, you know, we can find some sort of card. No. Alright, just see how it goes. I've already seen end boards ending on, like, you know, this. It's like, what, a 1.5 card combo. It's like, you get the Secret Village, you get the Unicorn, you get, like, all the Magispector stuff, you have the Scales, and it's it. Like, that's your full commitment. It's kind of crazy. And not enough. I understand that, you know, there were things that people wanted to see. Universally, nobody's ever going to be happy with these sorts of lists. You have to hope that, you know, with the frustrations that are left behind, that it usually is enough to change up the meta and try to diversify things. And I think this list, I think it did enough to kind of warrant things, but it did leave behind things like Beatrice that do leave another issue out here. You know, the game is so sick of Diabellstar at this point in time. You know, we were very excited to have, you know, a new waifu in the game, sure, but we're so taxed out of this lore at this point that I don't blame people for just the massive frustrations that we've been seeing with this. I don't remember the community being this upset with Fallen of Albaz, you know, which is kind of crazy to think about in itself, that, you know, we weren't that. I guess times change, but yeah, I understand the frustrations. I'm sick of Snake Eyes too, man. Like, the sooner that we see some sort of cleanup to this, the sooner that we can actually get the game going back to something a little bit better. So that's my 2 cents on the frustrations of the current OCG list. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. And remember, maybe you should get some Rescue Ace cards, because if this deck takes off, who knows?
patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.